Welcome to Wise Minds, Wild Hearts, the podcast for heart-led high achievers just like you, ready to take inspired action and achieve true alignment. If you're craving deeper influence, greater impact, and a life that genuinely lights you up, you're in the right place. I'm Kip Clark, former academic turned entrepreneur, transformational coach, elite athlete, and shameless fountain pen addict. Here, you'll learn how to leverage the beautiful wisdom of your years with the wild passion that drives you forward. Together, we'll break through those limiting beliefs, unlock the power of your subconscious mind, and create a life that aligns with your soul's desire. Ready to create the kind of impact you've always dreamed of? Let's do this. Hello. Welcome back to another episode of Wise Minds, Wild Hearts. Today, I want to talk to you about being more visible as you're working towards your goal. Stop hiding if that's what you're doing. We've got to be more visible if we're going to be more impactful. People need to experience your unique brilliance, your gifts. And if you're hiding that brilliance, if you're feeling afraid of really stepping out and being visible, you are preventing others from the potential growth and transformation in their own life that experiencing what you have to offer can bring them. Now, I get it. Believe me, I am a high achiever, and I still have experienced times in my life when I felt like I wanted to hide too. So I understand what this is like. We can experience a kind of fear of judgment. We don't like to be judged. I don't like to be judged either, but it's just something that happens. And what I've learned on this beautiful journey is it won't matter. For some people, it won't matter what I do, how well I show up, how brilliantly I deliver a message or cause transformation in other people. There will still be some who will find fault with what I'm doing, who will judge me for it. And what I've learned is that judgment actually doesn't have anything to do with me. It has everything to do with them and their mindset, their perspective, their paradigm. They're operating out of a paradigm of fear and lack and scarcity, and a very common expression of that fear and lack and scarcity is criticism. So I've learned, and I continue to learn, that there are going to be people for whom my message doesn't land. And that's okay for me. This is not for everyone. The work we do as high achievers, the work we do is not for everyone. But that doesn't mean it's not worth doing. As long as you are working towards a worthy goal, that is a goal that causes no harm for anyone. It's something that actually improves the lives of one other person or a few people or many people or the entire planet. If it's a worthy goal, it's worth working towards. It's worth being visible for. So just to share with you one episode not that long ago, a couple years ago, I had decided I wanted to take my business to a new level. I wanted to bring my leadership up a level, and I was hosting an online summit. Now, this took months to prepare for. I contacted people, I invited people to be interviewed, and in the end, I had 28 interviews with some unbelievable global leaders and influencers and impact makers, and I was releasing two recorded interviews each day over a 2-week period, and I had a whole series of emails set up to go out each day that would introduce that day's speakers and promote them, provide their bio. There was a link for freebies and so on. So it was this huge process that I had put in place with my VA to create all this supporting content that would be delivered each day of the summit. And I was so excited and just so excited to release this into the world. And on the first day, I was tingling with excitement, and I was watching how all these automated processes were going to work. And in the first 15 minutes, it just went disastrously wrong. I had missed setting up a particular setting. in the automatic machine that sends out the emails, so that automatic process. And what happened was a whole bunch of emails that should have been spread out over the following couple of weeks got sent in one day, like all at the same time. So people's inboxes were being flooded with all these emails. They didn't know what was going on, and I felt I was just beside myself because I was really tired. It had been a lot of work and I put so much into it, and I was excited at the same time. When this happened, I just felt so deflated. I felt like, oh, it's over. Everything, all I've done, all this work I've done, I've let all my speakers down. I'm letting down the thousands of people, and there were tens of thousands of people that were participating in this. I've let them all down. How can I ever show my face again? I wanted to crawl under a rock and hide. And I got a couple of nasty emails from people just really slamming me, that I didn't know what I was doing and this was just a joke, and they unsubscribed, and it felt horrible. But I I thought, you know what? I'm not giving up on this because I know this is something of enormous value for people. I got to figure this out. So I sent out another email saying, I know this, the last thing you want is another email, but we've had a glitch and I apologize. I'm going to sort it out. I'm going to take care of this for you. And I'm going to add an extra bonus just to help sort of compensate for this thing that I didn't plan on happening. And I actually got tons of messages from people saying, "Oh, don't worry. It happens. It's technology. Haha, no big deal." And most people were just fine with it. There were very few though, in all honesty, that were kind of nasty, but most people were just fine. And I got it sorted out and I learned from it. That was the big thing, is that I got the lesson I needed to get, and that is that I had overlooked something, hadn't checked as carefully as I should have. And that was a mistake that I knew I would never make again. And so in a way it was a good learning experience for me. But I tell this story because what I felt like in that moment when I was seeing my own inbox, because I was sending everything to myself that I was sending to other people, my inbox got flooded. I wanted to die. I just wanted to die and to curl up in a ball, and hide from the world. But I couldn't do that because that's not who I am. That's not my leadership style. I needed to just embrace it and roll with it. And that's what I did. And in the end, it turned out to be a fantastic experience. So many people got great value out of it. So many of my speakers wrote to me and said how much they enjoyed it. They got new clients from it. They got all kinds of new connections from it. It turned out to be a really beautiful thing. And that's because I allowed myself to be visible even when it was the last thing I wanted to do. I was committed to it. It was I'm making this happen no matter what kind of mindset. And I got through it and I learned from it. I wish it hadn't happened, but in a way, I'm kind of glad that it did happen too. This work we do, we high achievers, it is not for the faint of heart. But I also acknowledge that we can experience setbacks that make us want to hide sometimes. The best way to get through that, I've found, is just to take the focus off ourselves. So I had to stop thinking about me and the pain I was experiencing from having messed up, and get back to focusing on what can I do for these people I want to serve. So I put the focus back on them and I thought, okay, I'm going to figure this out and I'm going to fix it. And that's what I did. Now, when I'm talking about being visible here, I don't necessarily mean that you need to go and stand on a stage and speak to millions of people. That's not for most people to do that. It really isn't. I get it. But it does mean that you get to keep showing up. You get to keep serving the people you're serving. You get to keep working on that big, beautiful goal of yours because people need it. Somebody needs it, likely more than just one person. There could be countless people who need your brilliance, who need your gifts. And if you're hiding, if you're holding back, you're preventing other people from experiencing the growth and transformation they could experience that could change their lives. They go on to impact others. It creates this beautiful ripple effect of impact and influence, really high vibe stuff, really positive stuff. And it's all because we weren't afraid to be a little bit visible, to be a little more visible than perhaps is even comfortable for us. I had a conversation a few weeks ago with a colleague of mine, a fellow coach, and she said, because she's been writing a blog for a while and doing some high visibility stuff, and she actually said to me, "I know I've arrived. I know I'm finally having impact because I'm getting pushback from people. I'm starting to get some negative messages from some people." She said, "I was actually worried for a while. Everybody was just saying how great this was, and I thought it just didn't feel quite right to me." And she said, as soon as she started getting one or two people saying that they didn't like what she was doing, she felt she felt more settled in her mind, because we're really not meant to be pleasing everyone. That's really not possible. If you're trying to please everyone, you're going to end up pleasing or helping, supporting no one. And that's just the reality. It's not your responsibility to please everyone. You just focus on the people specifically you want to serve. You keep showing up, you keep being visible, you keep working towards that worthy goal, and you don't need to let any negativity sideline you at all. So this is a little bit shorter episode today, but I hope that it's impactful, and I hope that it gives you a little bit of fire under your butt to get out there and just be a little more visible. Who cares if not everybody loves what you have to say? It doesn't really matter. The negativity that you will get from other people only speaks to their mindset. It really has nothing to do what you're working on. You keep working toward your worthy goal. Don't worry about those people. There are others that can support them in whatever they're doing in their negativity. It doesn't have to affect you. It doesn't speak to your gifts and your brilliance. So let your light shine. Be visible. Be impactful. That's the best way forward. All right, my friends, that's it for this episode. If this has been helpful to you, let me know. I love to hear about all the positive changes you're making in your life. And if there's someone you know who might benefit from hearing this message, please share the love, my friend. See you next time on Wise Minds, Wild Hearts.